A hole in your sock. And what's that got to do with animal communication? Say you have a problem. A hole in the sock is a problem. What do? One of the solutions is you learn how to sew. So you invite an animal into your life, and then you're faced with behavioral challenges, health concerns, and you miss your pets in spirit. So what do? You think, I'll learn animal communication. So when it comes to sewing, one of the learning stages or the fundamental learning stage is that you need to know how to thread a needle. And as a parallel to animal communication, I would say perhaps the one thing that probably might surprise us in the initial stage is how opening up our intuitive senses is at the core of everything that we need to master in order to communicate with animals. So using the sewing analogy, once you learn that you can darn your own socks and it resolves a problem, you think, hey, I might be able to take up a hem. I might be able to sew a button that's come loose. I might even be able to cut patterns. So you learn basic sewing skills. Similarly with animal communication, when you realize that animal communication could be something that you can get to understand your animals better, you start to absorb knowledge through books, through YouTube's videos, through workshops and courses. So you want to master the theory of communicating with your own pets and animals. Now, when it comes to knowledge, we love absorbing knowledge, and most people stop at this stage. So you may find that you could have a similar journey where you might have started with enthusiasm, absorb as much knowledge as possible. And then somehow when you left a workshop, you thought, I kind of lost it. I've lost confidence. I'm not really doing it. Then you have another spurt and then you learn some more. You might attend a masterclass and you get excited. And then you might kind of wane again going, oh, I'm not really doing it when I should be doing it. This is actually very normal for many people. They love animal communication. They are advocates of animal communication, but somehow they stop at the stage of knowledge. Then there are some of you who are called to develop your abilities and skills. They are you because you have invested time, money, and energy into joining a membership. Because something inside you knows there's more to discover. You didn't want to settle just in the knowledge area. You think, I really want to try this out. How does it work? Because it's about deepening your connection, not just as a skill, but as a creative and spiritual journey. So at this stage, your knowledge becomes more than a technique. It becomes an art. When you apply knowledge, it becomes an art because you begin to recognize your own way of connecting, your personal rhythm, and your unique expression. And the way that Piedad and I want to support you is absolutely about recognizing your own way. So you think, okay, I'm going to now do more practice because it is through practice that you discover what you like and what you don't like. So same with animal communication, your practice includes communicating with your own animals as well as communicating with other people's animals. So within the safe space of the membership, you can communicate with each other's animals to give you that diversity. But what's really important and one that we want to continue to remind you within this group is you must take the patience to discover your animal communication. I want you to get to a place where you love you as an animal communicator, that you're proud of you as an animal communicator. Because when you get to that place, you want to then explore, you want to try new techniques, new styles. And perhaps at this point, some of you might say, okay, animal communication has actually led me to find out more about shamanism. It might help me to find out more about oracle cards. It might actually allow me to invest in time when it comes to meditation or even healing work, chakras. And all that does is it allows you to build confidence. Now, the confidence isn't in about whether you're confident in animal communication, but it's confidence in your individual style. That's where the confidence lies. When you don't feel confident, it's because you're trying to fit into what you think should be what you're doing by comparing yourself with others. True confidence comes when you really recognize your own individual style. And that takes time. You won't know it straight away. And that's what we do in this group, is to just keep allowing you through the different events that we hold for you to bit by bit uncover what it is that is your style. So just like a seamstress who starts to design their own pieces, you begin to sense your own unique way of connecting with animals. Hoorah! It's no longer about getting it right. What a relief, yeah? It's about trusting yourself. Because when you first start out, you are going to have to get through that stage of wanting to get it right. There's no way around it. It's just how we're wired. But we hope that when you're in the group that I lead you, that message will get through from day one all the way through. So we will always be reminding you it's not about getting it right. There is a role that it plays, but it's so much about trusting yourself. So when you trust yourself, you develop, you become passionate, and you want to increase your expertise. And in animal communication, time and time again, I have, from my own experience and also observe with you all, the way that we've been supporting each other, that personal growth and spirituality is the way to develop your animal communication. It's not about learning more techniques. It's not about consuming more information. It really is about your own personal growth and spiritual journey. And the best way to do that, the best way to grow, is to seek support and motivation from a community and also be mentored. Of course, we can progress on our own. Of course, you have all the books and the information that's easily accessible these days. However, one of the things that we will be missing if we're not within a community is where we exchange experiences. We're all at different points on the journey. Some of us will have experienced something that you might have shared something that you think, oh gosh, this is the first time I've experienced something like that. And another member will say, oh my goodness, I remember when that happened to me as well. And then we can prove that we survived it. We didn't die, or we can say, don't worry about what people say. This is where you can speak freely and not be thought that you were a bit weird or you're talking crazy, that you can hear animals. There's something very precious about being able to be free to just say, my dog told me that, or that cat told me this, or that tree sent me this message, without having to explain yourself. Deep Speak program and community, which is going to be your creative and spiritual home for animal communication.